A childhood in isolation. Tara Westover was born in September 1986 in Clifton, Idaho, a small town nestled at the foot of Bucks Peak. She was the youngest of 7 children in a devout Mormon family led by her parents, Gene and Faye Westover, pseudonyms used in the book. Her father, Gene, was a man of extreme beliefs, shaped by a deep mistrust of the government, modern medicine, and formal education. He believed the world was on the brink of collapse, influenced by apocalyptic prophecies and conspiracy theories about the Illuminati. This worldview dictated the family's lifestyle, which was one of self-sufficiency, survivalism, and isolation from mainstream society. Tara's childhood was far from ordinary. There was no birth certificate for her until she was 9, as her parents avoided all government documentation. The Westover children did not attend school, instead, they were homeschooled in a loose sense. Education was sporadic, often limited to reading the Bible, the Book of Mormon, and a few other religious texts. Most of Tara's days were spent working in her father's junkyard, salvaging scrap metal under hazardous conditions. Safety was an afterthought, accidents were frequent, and injuries, sometimes severe, were treated at home by Faye, who was a self-taught herbalist and midwife. Hospitals were avoided, as Gene believed they were part of a corrupt system. Tara's childhood was far from ordinary. There was no birth certificate for her until she was 9, as her parents avoided all government documentation. The Westover children did not attend school, instead, they were homeschooled in a loose sense. Education was sporadic, often limited to reading the Bible, the Book of Mormon, and a few other religious texts. Most of Tara's days were spent working in her father's junkyard, salvaging scrap metal under hazardous conditions. Safety was an afterthought, accidents were frequent, and injuries, sometimes severe, were treated at home by Faye, who was a self-taught herbalist and midwife. Hospitals were avoided, as Gene believed they were part of a corrupt system. The family's strict religious and survivalist beliefs created a world apart from the rest of society. Tara grew up unaware of major historical events like the Holocaust or the Civil Rights Movement. Her father's paranoia shaped her early understanding of the world, painting it as a dangerous place controlled by sinister forces. Yet, within this rigid framework, Tara's curiosity flickered, a seed that would later grow into her greatest strength. The spark of self-education. The first crack in Tara's isolated world came through her older brother Tyler. Unlike the rest of the family, Tyler dreamed of a life beyond Bucks Peak. He taught himself enough to pass the ACT college entrance exam and enrolled at Brigham Young University, BYU. His decision to pursue higher education was a radical act of rebellion against their father's beliefs, and it planted a question in Tara's mind: could there be more to life than this? Inspired by Tyler, Tara began her journey of self-education at the age of 16. With no formal schooling, she started teaching herself algebra, grammar, and history from old textbooks and whatever resources she could find. The process was grueling. She often felt overwhelmed by concepts that seemed basic to others. Yet, her determination was unshakable. She spent hours poring over equations, memorizing rules of grammar, and reading anything she could get her hands on. This self-directed learning was her first act of defiance, a quiet rebellion against the constraints of her upbringing. Tara's hard work paid off when she, too, passed the ACT and gained admission to BYU at 17. Stepping into a college classroom for the first time was like entering a foreign land. She was woefully unprepared. She didn't know how to write an essay, ask questions in class, or even interact with professors. During one lecture, she asked what the Holocaust was, revealing the depth of her educational gaps to her peers. The moment was humiliating, but it also fueled her resolve to learn. At BYU, Tara encountered ideas that challenged everything she had been taught. She grappled with history, philosophy, and literature, slowly piecing together a broader understanding of the world. Education became her lifeline, a way to question her father's rigid worldview and imagine a different future. As Tara's mind expanded, so did the tension between her and her family. Her pursuit of education was seen as a betrayal by her father, who believed college was a tool of indoctrination. Gene expected his children to remain loyal to his vision of self-reliance and religious purity. Tara's growing independence threatened this control, creating a rift that would only deepen over time. One of the most painful aspects of Tara's story is her relationship with her brother Sean. While Sean could be charismatic and kind, he was also volatile and abusive, both physically and emotionally. His behavior toward Tara was often cruel. Episodes of violence left her bruised and terrified, yet the family dismissed or excused his actions. When Tara began to confront Sean's abuse, she faced resistance from her parents, who refused to acknowledge the severity of his behavior. This denial forced Tara to question her own reality, a psychological struggle that haunted her for years. Leaving her family was not just a physical act but an emotional and intellectual one. Tara loved her parents and siblings deeply, yet their beliefs and dysfunctions suffocated her. She wrestled with guilt and loyalty, torn between her desire for freedom and her connection to her family. In an interview with the Irish Times, she reflected, "You can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them, and you can miss someone every day and still be glad they're not in your life." This poignant realization captures the heart of her journey. Freedom came at the cost of estrangement, but it was a price she was willing to pay. The power of education, a new identity. Tara's time at BYU was transformative, but it was only the beginning. Her academic excellence earned her a scholarship to Cambridge University, where she studied history and immersed herself in a world of intellectual rigor. At Cambridge, she was mentored by professors who recognized her potential and encouraged her to trust her own voice. She later earned a Ph.D. from Cambridge, a remarkable achievement for someone who had never set foot in a classroom until her late teens. Education was more than academic for Tara, it was a tool for self-reinvention. As she writes in Educated, "Everything I had worked for, all my years of study, had been to purchase for myself this one privilege, to see and experience more truths than those given to me by my father, and to use those truths to construct my own mind." Through learning, Tara dismantled the mental and emotional barriers of her childhood, forging a new identity rooted in curiosity, resilience, and independence. Her journey was not without setbacks. The psychological toll of her upbringing lingered, memories of abuse, self-doubt, and the fear of losing her family weighed heavily. Yet, each step forward strengthened her resolve. Education gave her the language to articulate her experiences and the courage to confront her past. Family conflict and controversy. Tara's memoir sparked controversy within her family. Her parents and some siblings disputed her account, claiming she exaggerated or misrepresented their lives. Her mother, Faye, even published a book, Educating, as a counter-narrative, arguing that Tara's story contained only a little truth. The Westover family's legal team issued statements accusing Tara of fabricating details for profit. This public dispute highlights the complexity of memory and truth. While Tara acknowledges that her recollections may differ from her family's, she stands by her story as her truth. The controversy underscores a universal theme, the tension between individual truth and collective family narratives. Tara's decision to write Educated was an act of courage, not just to share her story but to reclaim her voice. Her willingness to face criticism and stand firm in her perspective is a testament to her strength. Why Tara's story is attractive and motivational. Tara Westover's Educated resonates with readers worldwide because it speaks to universal themes of growth, resilience, and the transformative power of knowledge. Here are some reasons why her story is so compelling and inspiring. The triumph of self-education. Tara's journey from ignorance to erudition is a powerful reminder that education is not confined to classrooms. Her story inspires anyone who feels limited by their circumstances to take charge of their learning and pursue their dreams. The fight for freedom. Tara's struggle to break free from her family's control mirrors the battles many face in asserting their independence. Her courage to choose her own path, despite immense pressure, is a universal call to authenticity. Complex family dynamics. The push and pull of love and conflict within Tara's family is deeply relatable. Her story explores the challenge of honoring one's roots while carving out a separate identity, a tension many readers understand. Resilience and courage. Tara's ability to overcome physical danger, emotional abuse, and intellectual gaps showcases extraordinary resilience. Her story motivates others to persevere through their own challenges. Evocative storytelling. Tara's writing is raw, vivid, and emotionally charged. Her ability to convey both the beauty of Buck's Peak and the pain of her experiences draws readers into her world, making her triumphs feel personal. A lasting legacy. Educated is more than a memoir, it's a testament to the human spirit's capacity for growth and transformation. Tara Westover's story challenges readers to question the truths they've been given, to seek knowledge relentlessly, and to find the courage to redefine themselves. Her journey from a scrapyard in Idaho to the halls of Cambridge is a powerful reminder that no dream is too big, no obstacle too great, when fueled by determination and curiosity. A lasting legacy. For anyone seeking inspiration, Educated is a must-read. It's a story that will make you reflect on your own life, question the limits you've accepted, and dare to imagine a future shaped by your own choices. Tara's words linger long after the final page. The thing about having a mental breakdown is that no matter how obvious it is that you're having one, it's somehow not obvious to you. Her clarity, earned through years of struggle, is a gift to readers, a reminder to trust ourselves, to keep learning, and to never stop seeking our own truth. She was born on a mountain, with no school, no voice, no freedom, but she climbed all the way to Cambridge, not just to earn a degree, but to discover herself. Tara Westover's story is not just about escaping ignorance. It's about reclaiming identity. It's about learning to think, to speak, and to live on your own terms. Because education isn't just about books. It's about freedom of thought, and the courage to rewrite your story, no matter how it started. If this story moved your heart, like this video, leave a comment below, and share it with someone who needs the courage to rise. And for more real, raw, and powerful stories that remind you of your strength, subscribe to Books Unfold. Because these aren't just stories. They're maps for finding your way back to yourself.